Welcome back, my friends, for the season premiere of the show that never ends. I'm John Redland with my review of WWE Raw. It's a go-home show for Hell in a Cell. They took balls of ideas, threw them at the wall, threw their balls to the wall, and a bunch of, messy shit stuck, and then Vince McMahon changed it. And we got this show. A show that has a lot of talent, and that's the frustrating thing about WWE. They got a lot of talent. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, even NXT UK. And sadly, the creative on all those shows is pretty much just eh. I mean, NXT UK is what it is. NXT is kind of here and there, but Raw is really, really bad. SmackDown has a couple decent things going, and the Hell in a Cell card actually looks pretty good, but this just was not a good show at all. This reminded me a lot of a go-home show for a WCW 2000 pay-per-view, in the sense they should have had the pay-per-view when, right after they had the Nitro before, like, the go-home show. It should have been that, because it seemed like, when Orton pinned Drew, that's how they should have gone home, for Hell in a Cell. They kind of did it backwards, even though they tried to do this confrontation inside the Hell in a Cell. But anyway, the new theme for Raw, and it's absolute shit. 100% shit. So, Alexa's here and says, he's here. The Fiend is here. His entrance takes 5,000 years to happen. I know Undertaker's did, but Undertaker, the Fiend. Not that the Fiend is bad. Anyway, suddenly Retribution, terrible sequel to Suddenly Susan. The lights are out, and then they're gone. And then Retribution's like, what the fuck? What's going on? Here's the Hurt Business. 30 seconds later, after a dive from Cedric, commercial. And then we get a Riddle video package. By the way, Retribution's theme is absolute shit, which fits for a gimmick that's absolute shit. A Riddle video package where, I'm sorry, I don't... Even if all this stuff about Riddle actually wasn't true, and looking like some of it is, who knows? Even if it wasn't true, he doesn't have a dynamic character. He's a high guy. That's it. RVD was a high guy, but at least RVD was fun to watch in the ring. Riddle is a good athlete, a very good athlete, but he's not interesting. So then he's going to take on AJ Styles. But first, it's so goddamn shit. It's so goddamn shit, because we have Hurt Business versus Retribution, and then, it goes 5 minutes in, Fiend music, and then we go to commercial. We come back. Have I mentioned that I hate Retribution? Because I do. Not the athletes, the concept. And then T-Bar taps to the full Lashley, full lock, hurt lock, whatever it's called. Okay, so you made Ali the leader, and now suddenly Retribution loses a match. I don't like the concept, but you should have just fucking dropped it. Had Ali be a heel. This gimmick is shit. It's not salvageable. No matter how many promos you give to Ali and you give to others, it's goofy, it's ridiculous, it's cartoonish. It's not going to work. And then suddenly, the Fiend attacks. And he attacks Retribution, lays them out while the red light special is going off, not the TLC song. Hurt Business is staring at him, what the fuck? And then suddenly Alexa appears on the goddamn video screen, let me in! And then we get Styles with Jordan, the huge black guy, I don't know his last name, but the huge black guy from Raw Underground, the bouncer. And we're close to getting 12 years in AJ is what we're going to get here soon. So, Riddle's here, and then Jordan stops the referee from doing a count to try and get him out of the ring, even though the match hadn't started. So technically, you can't really count to get anybody out of the ring if a match hasn't started. I'm just trying to do my job, man. Why are you picking on me? And then Riddle and Styles, look, they're good athletes. Styles is a premier worker, and has been for 20 fucking years. I didn't care about this match, because I'd seen him fight before, and it didn't matter. And then Jordan threatens to punch Riddle. He gets back in the ring, gets hit with the Styles Clash. I never thought I'd have to see a large African-American man punch a high Caucasian man on camera again. I never fucking thought I'd have to see that. So, anyway, yeah, this was what it was. Then we get an Orton-Drew package. We get a Drew interview. Talks about Orton. Also gets censored. Styles got censored earlier. And then we get Asuka versus Lana, Raw Women's Championship. I'm just going to say this right now. Asuka deserves a freaking bonus for having to carry this sack of shit in the ring. Lana is not a bad person. I know that she's had, I think her parents actually got the virus, and I hope they're okay. I know she's been through a lot personally. I do not hate the person. As a wrestler, she's fucking shit. Asuka had to try everything to carry her. Yeah, people say, well, Lana threw some good kicks. Oh, congratulations. You can throw some good kicks. You're doing what other people were doing 10 fucking years ago, and she's not any good in the ring. And then she taps out to the Asuka lock in about 2.5 minutes. And then Nia and Shayna attack. Well, Nia then lays her out through the announcer's table. Lana, that is. 5th week in a row. If you try to give us Asuka and Lana versus Shayna and Nia for the tag titles, and you have Asuka and Lana win, just take the women's tag titles and throw them in the bin. That's all I gotta say. So, We get Shayna and Nia. We run the women's division. We own the women's division. We own the night. Not that movie sucked. So suddenly they're like, we're just going to challenge anybody. Or suddenly, just because they were just going to hit their music because we hadn't gotten the women involved in anything good yet. We have Mandy and Dana, and then Lacey and Peyton. Okay, you break up the Iconics, who are a really charismatic team. You're going to put Peyton on her own. You're going to put Billy on her own on SmackDown. Or you could pair Peyton with Lacey in a team that makes no sense. It's not that they aren't good young athletes, and they are, even though they've been in the business for a while, especially Peyton, really, really well-traveled and well-trained. And Lacey does a pretty damn good moonsault. You're going to put them in a random tag team nobody cares about. Why'd you break up the Iconics? I don't fucking get it. So, we then get Liv and Ruby, because fuck the brand split. We just had the draft. Fuck the brand split. I guess maybe because of the women, they're challenging for the women's tag titles. Guys, only the champions are supposed to travel. Quite frankly, what they need to do is they need to scrap the whole damn thing with the women's tag team championships and just have a mid-card title. I gotta agree with Derb. He said that a year and a half ago. He's actually about 2 years ago. He said just have a mid-card title. And he was right. 100% right. So, we then have a four-way match. It's all four teams, Human Centipede together, and dies. It was messy, very messy. Everybody get in here. And a Samoan drop pins Lacey. Okay, cool, whatever. The match meant nothing. It's not that the women didn't try. It's just that it meant nothing. And then Elias' live concert with bandmates. Well, I mean, it wasn't as bad as the Kiss concert on Nitro because at least Elias sung. But creatively, it was pretty goddamn bad. Now, I will say, he actually can sing. He's not that bad. What the fuck? Why? Why is this happening? And it went on forever, and it was what it was. And hey, at least Elias seemed like he was having fun. And then somebody takes his guitar away and is kind of just jamming out to it. And it's Jeff Hardy. He's turned around, but it's Jeff Hardy. I didn't hit you with that car, man. Carman, the worst goddamn superhero ever. So, just why? Just why? What is this show? Miz and Morrison and Tucker. Why is this feud still going? Tucker's going to get a tag partner. Elias is upset. Challenges Jeff to a match on Sunday. And then Kofi and Xavier talk about spreading their seed. We are Johnny Appleseed, and Sheamus is saying a bunch of stuff. And it's Kofi with Xavier versus Sheamus. It was fine. Big E was shirtless during his appearance in the Thunderdome, as Big E would be. Joe saying at one point, you got to wonder how much Kofi has left. Xavier hearing him because there's nobody in the goddamn building. He's got a lot left, Joe, and I don't know why that made me laugh. And yeah, Kofi wins. Kofi wins with Trouble in Paradise. Retribution. Ali talks about chaos and hacking. He was a hacker, back when we cared about that storyline, and he was tired of not being heard. Let me just say right now, I wish nothing but the best for Mustafa Ali and everybody in the group that calls themselves Retribution, but this ain't gonna fucking work. We then get the Hurt Business and Titus. Titus wants to join the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business are faces when they face the group that calls themselves Retribution, and then they beat up Titus. Makes no sense. 4-on-1 beatdown. And then we get Miz and Morrison versus Tucker and Otis in a mask. El Gordo del Luchador, whatever the fuck they called him. Why? I hate Otis, the character, and I hate the person. Why? This is the worst. And then Truth and Gulak running in and doing a little spot for the 24/7 championship. For no reason. And Otis pins Miz. I was embarrassed by this. This is where it's proof that wrestling has passed me by. Because they were doing this shit in the 90s, and I didn't even find it entertaining then. Up to about, I'd say, 95. Anyway, New Day and Tucker watch Mandy handle Otis's meat. Handing him some ham. Hamdy, if you will. Funhouse and recaps of what we just saw earlier with the group that calls themselves Retribution and the Fiend. And then here's Alexa. Apparently Rambling Rabbit also had a goddamn wife. Who knew? Alexa, and the fun is just getting started. I hope so, because it's hard for something to start when it hasn't fucking started yet. Alexa and Bray seem to be having a lot of fun with this, and that's good. I don't care about it, but it is what it is. Keith Lee versus the Confederate biker rally enthusiast, Braun Strowman, piece of goddamn shit that he is. Yeah, don't wear masks and gather all around and everything. You get sick, it's your fucking fault, let me just say that. Accidental low blow, and Braun wins with a big boot. I guess that's his new finisher. And then Keith Lee low blows him and says, Monster meet the dragon. Cool. I don't understand Keith Lee's booking. It's not that his booking before he became North American Champion was the greatest ever. But goddamn, they got way too many people they're trying to feature on Raw. Keith Lee deserves buried. I'm not going to say he's buried. I just don't understand what the fuck they're doing with him. And then Orton's message from hell. And Orton forgot how the mic worked. He basically had the mic down here and was talking and everything. And then did this because he remembered where the mic was. And talking about beating up Jeff Hardy, using a screwdriver in his ear. You're welcome for me reminding you. And then here's Drew with bolt cutters. And Randy tried to run. More like Randy Bolton. Can hear the collective groans coming out of the crowd right there. So, yeah, not a good episode of Raw. They face off and then they go to black. So it is what it is. The red cell's an eyesore, by the way. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.